Missouri's legislative session is now up and running. Now it's Kansas' turn. Lawmakers get back to work tomorrow in Topeka with a new power dynamic that could really shape the policies we see come out of the legislature this year. Republicans grew their supermajority at the state capitol despite Democratic efforts to the contrary. 31 Republican senators will swear in this week with 9 Senate Democrats. The Dems lost ground in the state House, too. They have 37 seats with 88 Republican representatives running the show. That means Republicans have well more than 2/3 of the House and Senate, and when unified, can beat back vetoes from Democratic Governor Laura Kelly. But unified is the key word here. The new incoming House Minority Leader, Representative Brandon Woodard of Lenexa, says he's hoping to work across the aisle to get things done.
Keeping 37 of us together is a lot easier than the 88 of them, I think. And so because of that, we've been able to have success in sustaining vetoes of the governor in the past. But it takes 63 votes to pass a bill, which means that we've got to unite our caucus, but we also have to go find 26 friends on the other side of the aisle to work with us and want to hear what their concerns are and figure out where we can agree and work together. Of course, there's going to be several issues that we're not going to, sit back and not fight for the people that we want to stand up for. But I think more often than not, we're able to work together, and that's our goal going into the session.
Woodard said he considered this session a win if that can happen, if Democrats and Republicans can find common ground on important issues. We'll see what happens with items like property tax relief, which Republican House Speaker Dan Hawkins has said he wants to address day one. Democrats also want to make strides on housing affordability, education funding, and health care. Time will tell if they can get any bills over the finish line. And the state budget is a big item. Republicans are poised to introduce their own version, perhaps even before Governor Laura Kelly does. Let's get to the heart of the matter with House Speaker Representative Dan Hawkins of Wichita. Thank you for being here ahead of a busy session. First off, let's talk about the deeper bench that you have now with a couple more Republicans in the House. What does that mean for you moving forward?
Thank you, Cody. It's a pleasure to be here. Having 3 extra, actually 4 extra, we've got 4 seats over a supermajority. It just allows us to be able to pass some things or to override vetoes that maybe we weren't able to do before. For instance, constitutional amendments. There's several constitutional amendments coming that it takes 84 to pass. And, sometimes there's some Democrats that come along with us, sometimes not. It just kind of depends. I wouldn't say it makes it any easier. If people think having a bigger and bigger and bigger majority makes it easier, it doesn't. It just means you have more and more people that you have to bring along and make sure everybody's together. So it doesn't really make it any easier. It's just that on those big things that our caucus certainly wants to pass, it should be easier to do that.
What's high on your priority list in this new year? I know you're really gung-ho about the budget and trying to have your own proposal.
Yeah, the budget's very important, and I'd like to say that the budget process is something that we really wanted to work on. In the past, our budget committees, the biggest gripe was that they just didn't have enough time to work on it. I did say one thing in another program where I made the comment that the governor had not given the budget to us like I had asked in 23. I did find out just recently that I was wrong, that we did get most of that budget. And so I do want to apologize to the governor for speaking on that, because I think that when you find out you're wrong, you need to admit it and move on, and that's what I'm doing. But it doesn't change the fact that our biggest problem is having enough time to work on the budget. The way our processes have always worked is the governor gives us the budget for us to actually start working on at State of the State, right after the State of the State. And then it's another 3 weeks or so before the budget information actually gets to committees to where they can start having hearings and taking action on the budget. And then we're pressed for time. At that point, we may have for an $8 billion budget 4.5 hours to work on that. That's just ridiculous. You can't do anything with a budget in 4.5 hours. So we needed a longer time. So the process that we've put in place for this year, for this session is we started working on it clear back in November and December. We will have a budget for our folks to start working on the first day of session. It'll be introduced by the time they get to committee on Thursday. They'll be able to actually start having hearings and move along very, very quickly. So our process is to make us more efficient and give us the ability to make good decisions and set the right priorities for the budget for the state. And so I'm really proud of what we're doing. Again, I do apologize to the governor and misspeaking on one item.
I do want to mention real quick, Governor Kelly had already signaled that she would veto a property tax cut because we're fresh on the heels of a $2 billion tax cut plan passed last session. She has cautioned about cuts going too deep, threatening school funding potentially and other services. What say you to that?
So I do believe we have room to do a property tax cut. You know, last year we had 4 tax bills. They were comprehensive tax bills. They had income tax, property tax. They had all kinds of stuff in them that were very necessary. The governor vetoed all 4 of those bills. We came back in special session and we had to take the property tax out to be able to get her to sign the bill. And we needed a signed bill. We needed it to get to get implemented and get to the people. And so we took the property tax out at that time. There were both Democrats and Republicans who were upset because we did not get that. And so we pledged at that time that we would bring back property tax the very first thing when we get back in session. We're going to hold to that promise. We will have a property tax relief bill. And yes, it does cost money. Depends on how much we do. It could be anywhere from 90 to 130 million. The one thing we do have to do is we have to control our spending, which is something you always have to do. But with all that federal money, it's been a little bit more difficult controlling the spending. And this year, we, just like the governor, understand that we have to control the spending and we have to make sure that whatever we do is sustainable. And we're going to do that. We'll make sure it's sustainable. So I'm not too worried about that. It's just that we're going to have to look at both sides of the ledger, both the taxing side, the revenue coming in, and how much we spend, and how we'll be able to do that property tax relief bill will be to control the spending.
All right, we'll be watching closely. Kansas House Speaker Dan Hawkins, thanks for your time. Again, tomorrow is the first day of Kansas legislative session. Lawmakers stay busy till recess in late March, then come back for veto session from April 10th through the 12th. Count on KMBC 9 News to keep you posted every step of the way.